So today we are doing another little mounting video, and today we're doing it on my Slingshot. So I actually think that Slingshot's probably one of the best vehicles to do little road trips in, to be able to film what's around you, just because of the way that it's actually designed. It's got no doors, it's got no roof, it's low to the ground. Everything was really accessible. It's got all kinds of mounting points to it. Not necessarily a ton on the back, but anywhere near the front, of course, inside the actual body, there's just tons. So we're gonna go over a few that I think could be cool and ones that actually I use. All right, so the first one that you may actually see right here, right? Maybe you see it. I'll just get the camera and turn right there. So this is actually mounted to the headrest area, the like the roll bar area here. So if the Slingshot were to ever, of course, flip over, this would hopefully give you some protection. The new ones are just rounded. This is the older style, but as you can see, a good sized clamp actually fits on it really good. Now, the bonus of this, of course, two bonuses actually is number one, you can fit a mount right onto it. So you can get a nice shot of the back of the Slingshot. You can get a great front shot of the Slingshot. If you want to get some scenery off to the side, you can get a very unobstructed view of the scenery that's kind of going by you. So like a side shot, really nice. Now, in conjunction with that, if you are someone that wants to get a shot possibly of the rear tire, you can actually use this, which is what I've used, and Insta360's long extension tube here, their visible stick. You mount this on here, yes, and then what happens is if you come back here with me, I'll actually use, did it follow me? Yeah, it is. I'll actually use a clamp, like a dual clamp, and one clamp will go onto the license plate mount, and then the next clamp will actually clamp onto the bar, because of course, when this is like this, you can have the clamp up here, right? So you guys can see it right up here on this, just down lower. Maybe they'll follow me down here. Here it is, right down here. So you get the camera back here. Now, the one thing to just be aware of is normally when, let's say I'm on a motorcycle, I always say when you're using an extended pole to always extend from the base part first, so you get the thicker part of the pole, right? It's because it's going to have less flex on it, which makes sense. That's kind of what you want. But in this case, the pole is actually this way, right? The pole is down. So what happens is if you get it to where you want, can't go too far, or else this will be dragging on the ground. And you clamp it here, for instance, right? For distance wise, you clamp it here, right? This is the thickest part of the pole. What happens is you hit bumps, right? This starts to extend. So you're driving, and all of a sudden this part of your camera is dragging on the ground, and that's never good. Now, the bonus of the X5, of course, user replaceable lenses. So, but you still don't want to have to do that if you don't need to. So this is one of the few times that I'm going to say, you know what, you want to pull from the end, right? Get it out to your maximum amount, then clamp on here, right? Because once you clamp on here at a like a joint level, what happens is that now gravity can't pull that any further. So that means it's as far as it's going. So you will get a bit more flex in it, of course, but at least you won't have it dragging on the ground, because nobody wants that. All right, so if you are not wanting that long pole that goes from here all the way down to the back, you get that wider shot back here, and you want maybe a cool shot of the shock, and you want a cool little side shot, the actual license plate mount right here, even though it's fairly flexible, actually isn't a bad place to mount a camera to. It does, again, flex a little bit, but it's not horrible. So if you were to use one of these clamps like this from Insta360, right, this easily can mount on. Now, normally I mount on right to this point, so I come in sideways. And again, when that's there, you can get the camera out, point it down, however you want, just to get a nice shot of that rear shock moving, the belt moving. And if you wanted to put a small like invisible stick to get that out a little bit further, you could get a cool shot of the tire actually spinning. So not a bad location either. Now, when you're in here, of course, lots of spots inside the actual slingshot to mount. So you may be able to see, of course, I have one just right here. This is usually where I place my X5, right up here, because it's the one that gives me well, it's the newest and greatest, of course, right? So it's the one that I kind of place here. Gives me the best shots, easy to access. I have the quick start mode on, so I just hit the record button. It usually sits up high enough here that it shoots over top of the windscreen. Plus, it gets me a shot backwards. Fantastic. And then I shoot two other ones, and you can see the mounts here. Let me see if I turn this camera around. Right, and again, they're on the mirror stems. So I have a mirror stem one on this side. So it's, again, very easy for me to access. And I have one over there. So Monique, or whoever's my passenger, if I want to get a shot from that side, maybe, for instance, we are driving by something that I want to see over there. Again, I can get an unobstructed view. It's just nice to have that variation in shots. This one, of course, on my side, it's going to be primarily seeing me. This one on that side is primarily going to be seeing the passenger. Plus, depending if I'm passing again, if I'm riding with some other motorcycles or anything like that, if they're more on my right side, or if I'm doing a drive-by where, I want to get a shot of all those, I'll turn that camera on there, so when I drive by them, that camera, again, gets a pretty unobstructed view of them. Plus, if I'm driving on this side, I can use this one. And all these cameras are pretty accessible, except for that one, for me, the driver. But I can use, I have the GPS remote from Insta360. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just keep that in my dash for that camera. So if I do need to turn that one on and off, if I'm riding by myself, I have every available option to be able to do that. Plus, just so you guys can see, right, when I'm in the car here, this one back here, right, this one up here, when I have a camera on it, I can reach it, right? It is reachable, so I can turn it on and off from here without actually even having to take my eyes off the road. I can simply just reach my hand up, I follow this, hit that start button, hit the stop button. Very accessible from inside the car, so I don't have to get out to turn them on and off, which is super nice. Now, the last one you'll see is this one right down here, and this one sits on the actual fender, right? The fender of this slingshot. So that fender is a little bouncy. It is a little flexible. So, I wouldn't necessarily try to get the camera super close to the tire because, again, that fender does flex a fair bit. But in the position that it is now, you get a great side view of the car all the way down from the front to the back. You get a fantastic shot of that front tire turning if you want to get a shot like that. And, if you were shooting in the rain or any kind of conditions like that, you could get some wicked water shots of the rain coming off the tire and splashing up off the fender. So again, a really nice change in view for just having some variety in your shots, right? And of course, last but not least, is just the fact that, this is an open cockpit. It's an open cockpit, which means a lot of times I'll just have an Insta360 camera sitting on one of the selfie sticks. And I have it sitting down here beside me. So whenever I'm driving, whenever I'm on the highway, I'm going through some curves, nothing too aggressive, I can easily just take that selfie stick, turn the camera on, put it up in my hands. I can raise that up, get a nice high shot, get that nice trailing shot, especially if you get it up like 6 feet or so. I can put it behind me so that I get that shot. I don't have to have it permanently mounted back there. I can take the camera in my hand with, again, that selfie pole. I can get it down, point it down up over the front tire. I can get shots inside the dash, down the body. I can even extend it out that side of the car, just by holding my arm out so that you can get it. And because again, this is a very open concept car, there's great places too to be able to put the actual selfie stick. So the mirror, for instance, where I actually have the mount for the actual X5, X4, whatever camera, actually creates like a little U, right? As you can kind of see it right there. And I can actually put the selfie stick, right? And I can just click, I just lay it in there, right, between those two. So now it's stable. So, if I'm going straight down the highway, instead of me having to hold the selfie stick out, I got a little brace, basically. I just lay it in there. It's not going to move right or left or anything like that. Perfect. And then I can just lift it out, put it down on the floor, close the selfie stick, turn it off, and I got a whole bunch of great footage. So very cool. Plus, every one of these mounting points, even if you look at, again, this one here on the mirror, right? This guy right here on the mirror here, right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. If I were to take this and actually spin it down, right, have it down this way, again, it's going to change my view a bit, right? So actually point this down. And again, I could put a little selfie stick on it to get it out a little bit further. So a lot of great little options on this car. It's just, you know, too many to talk about. So if you are someone that likes to do little weekend trips and you want to be able to record and you're like, what kind of cool car would be really nice for mounting options? Well, first off, the Slingshot is great for that. Plus, it's a crazy fun auto cycle, whatever you want to call it, to drive around in. And you know, you get those 360 cameras on there. You get your Ace Pro on there. Again, you may be able to see up there, right? There's my helmets. The helmet up there is usually where I have my Ace Pro 2 mounted, because again, you do want a point of view shot, right? Point of view shots are important, so that one's always one that you add. But being able to mix and match. And again, you know, you don't need to have 5 different 360 cameras. You know, you can have one. So the key is you have these mounting points, which makes it easy to move the camera between them, just to be able to get all those different viewpoints, different B-roll shots, etc. I always recommend having 2 cameras just because it's nice to not have to move one all the time. But you can do it with 1. You can do it with 2. You can do it with 8. 8 cameras would be the way to go, I think. 8 cameras. Anyways, Insta360 right now has a great sale going on too. I do have a link down below if you're interested. It helps support the channel, X5, X4s. I still shoot with a ton of X4s, Ace Pro, Ace Pro 2s. Just because it's the newest one doesn't mean it's the only one that's valid, right? I think the X4, I was looking through a lot of my footage, the X4, fantastic quality. It's still a great camera, and you can get that at a really good deal right now. Anyways, I'm going to leave you guys there. This is some mounting points and tips for the Slingshot, and look forward to seeing you guys' video. And again, use some of the links because, you know, it helps me, and we have this bond, I think, maybe. All right, guys, I'm out. Later.